All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Full Range Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Most Valuable Pat, and I am here with a video today of our very first episode number one of Full Range Wrestling Recap. What this show basically is going to be is me giving an opinion about what happened on WWE Wrestling for the week. So Raw, SmackDown, and then whatever pay-per-view happens to be on that week, on that particular Sunday. We'll break it down a little bit and talk about some, the major stories that happen and kind of break it down a little bit, give our opinions on it, and just kind of give everybody a perspective of what a fan like myself thinks of what happened at Raw and SmackDown and whatever pay per view we're going to be on. We're not paid by anybody. We're not sponsored by anybody. This is just a person like myself. I've been watching wrestling since I was 6 years old. Over 25 years, I've been watching wrestling, and so it's I'm gonna say I'm a smart fan, and so it's just an opinion of a smart fan. So I mean, you can take it however you want, but we're just going to go through that, and then we'll talk about some rumors that are roaming around, and we'll also talk about a couple of the backstage things that maybe people have been talking about also. And then we will do a Q&A. So please leave a comment down in the comment section asking us questions, asking me questions, asking us questions, period, about wrestling. Please don't be stupid questions. Just make, a couple decent questions, and you should be fine. And we'll answer them next week on the next episode. So I thought that this week would be a perfect week to start because it was Royal Rumble, road to WrestleMania, in the Royal Rumble, and so I thought this would be like a perfect week to kind of start. And they did the Raw 25 thing, and they said it's the first Raw after Raw 25. So again, good week to start. So we're just gonna go ahead and just dive right into it. Royal Rumble, my favorite event to watch the entire year. We had the Asuka and Shinsuke win the two Royal Rumble matches. I was impressed by both of these matches, but I do want to start off by talking about the women's Royal Rumble match first. I thought it was actually really, really good. I didn't really care for the fact that they showcase the older generation of women more than they showcase the newer generation of women. That kind of got on my nerves until I found out why they did that. They did that because I guess everybody that was in the Rumble, Kelly and Tori Wilson and Molly Holly and Vicky Guerrero and all these women, went up to Vince and wrote him a letter asking them to be in this Rumble, and he was like, "Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll put you guys in it." And so that's what they did. I was really hoping that they were going to put more NXT stars in it. They only had two, and the only reason that Kairi Sane was in it was because Alicia Fox got hurt, and Kairi Sane took her place, and it was Ember Moon, the other woman that came in her place. They both did great jobs. In fact, everybody did a good job. All the women did a good job. It was no shocker to anybody that watches wrestling or has a brainstem that Asuka was going to win this Rumble. Everybody knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Now it was just a matter of whose title is she going to take at WrestleMania, and is she going to take Charlotte's or Alexa Bliss's? It looks like right now it's going to be Alexa Bliss because Charlotte might go up against Ronda Rousey, which I think is kind of stupid. Ronda Rousey doesn't have a wrestling match under her belt, and she is going to fight for a title at WrestleMania. That's kind of dumb. That was the other kind of big story of the day. She came out at the end of the Rumble, and she pointed at the WrestleMania sign. So I like Ronda Rousey. I think she's a good mainstream person to come in and kind of jack up the ratings a little bit. I think it's a great idea, but we haven't seen her wrestle yet. So we got to see how good she's going to be. We got to see how her wrestling skills are in the ring, and if she does a good job, then great. If she doesn't do a good job, then does she really deserve a title match at WrestleMania when every other girl on that roster might be able to, take on Charlotte for that championship at WrestleMania? But that was like the other big story of the day. I thought she was actually going to be in the Rumble herself. I didn't think that she was going to be in, coming out at the very end and all that kind of stuff, which I thought that was kind of fun. But I really thought that she was just going to be in the Rumble instead of just coming out and just making an appearance. But it was fun. It was kind of a surprise. They didn't really have a whole lot of shocking people in the women's Rumble. Vicky Guerrero and Molly Holly were the two that I thought was pretty shocking. But other than that, I figured everybody else would come out. Brie too. I didn't think Brie would come back, but it was cool to see her and Nikki come back out again. So it was kind of cool, but it was all around. It was a good Rumble. They did a really good job. They had a fun time, and I liked it a lot. Um, Moving on here a little bit, we'll talk about the men's Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura, thank God, won this Rumble. That was the best decision that I could have seen win this Rumble. And, they didn't they didn't really have too many shocking things happen. Hurricane came out, I think, at like number 11. And that was really cool to see him. But the big one was Rey Mysterio. And he looked incredible. I don't think I've ever seen him in that good of shape in his, the entire time I've been watching him. I haven't seen him since he left, but I don't think I've seen him in that good of shape ever since he left WWE, which I think was crazy. He just looked amazing. And he still had the same speed and skills and agility and all that kind of stuff that he had before. And the best part of the match for me was when it was down to final 6, and it was Roman, Finn Balor, and Shinsuke, and then it was Orton, Cena, and Mysterio. They all fought each other. That was really cool. But the final 4 was really, really good when it was Roman, Cena, and what was it? Roman, Cena, Balor, and Nakamura. That was a really cool Final 4, and I'm really, really glad that Nakamura won, because now we get to see our dream match at WrestleMania, with it being Nakamura versus AJ Styles, and that's what everybody wants, because those two guys are so good at what they do, and they have to go against each other. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it goes, and I'd love to see that. I can't wait to see it. I hope they don't mess it up and have AJ lose the title at Fastlane pay-per-view. I don't think they will, but I'm really, really hoping that they don't. But speaking of AJ Styles, he had a match earlier on in the night with against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And AJ Styles does a lot of carrying in matches. He doesn't have to carry Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They know what they're doing. They've done it for a long time. They're very good at what they do. And they have a lot of skills themselves. I had about maybe a third, like maybe 30 seconds to a minute, thinking to myself, WWE is gonna fuck this up, and they're gonna make Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win these championships, and then we're not only gonna have a title that has no validity at all in Raw, but now we're going to have one that doesn't have any sort of meaning at all on SmackDown, because who really wants to see like co-champions? You know what I mean? So thank God he won that match. It was a good match. You know what I mean? Suspenseful, and you didn't know who was going to win and all that kind of stuff, and that's just what I like to see. And I was hoping that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens weren't going to win to make that title irrelevant, just like on Raw's. And they didn't, which was cool, which is what made the whole Shinsuke Nakamura win the Rumble thing even better, because now you get to see this big dream match between Shinsuke and AJ Styles. So the last championship match that was at the Rumble was Lesnar Kane, and Strowman in a triple threat match. And man, I was so hoping that freaking Strowman was gonna win that match. Honestly, I was so hoping he was gonna win. I just had, I had, I was hoping the entire time, man. But I mean, again, Lil Lesnar wins the match. He's gonna skip out on Elimination Chamber. He's probably gonna skip out in the next pay per view, and then he's gonna go to WrestleMania and face whoever is gonna be at WrestleMania, which I think is stupid. I mean, WrestleMania is not till April. It's January. Almost, well, it's February, and it's not till April. So, 2 more months. We're not gonna see him again until at least WrestleMania. So I'm hoping it's gonna be Strowman versus Lesnar WrestleMania. I think that would be a really good match. But overall, the entire Rumble was good. I mean, they had the tag team championships change hands on Raw. Now the Bar has it because Jason Jordan's injured, so that's why they gave it back to the Bar. And then Usos just beat the snot out of Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. It was 2 out of 3 falls, and for the first time I've ever seen somebody won 2-0 out of 2 out of 3 falls match. So they were good matches and they were fun matches to watch. But the 4 main matches were the 2 Rumbles and then the 2 championship matches, which were both great. So overall, it was a good Rumble. I enjoyed myself. It's my favorite one of the year. My second favorite one is Elimination Chamber, and I really love the Elimination Chamber. It's a lot of fun. And so it's a Royal Rumble, and I really had a good time watching it. So thank you, Vince, and WWE for making actually a good Rumble for the first time in probably like 4 or 5 years. But we're gonna move on here a little bit. We'll go over to Raw, and Raw wasn't actually that good, entertaining wise, I should say. They had a bunch of qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber, and they also announced that they're going to have a women's Elimination Chamber, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit of detail here in a minute, which is kind of weird. But the last man standing matches, or not, they had a last man standing match between Kane and Braun Strowman, where Braun Strowman just destroyed Kane to get into the Elimination Chamber match, and then it was Matt Hardy versus Elias, and Elias ended up beating Matt Hardy to get into Elimination Chamber match, and then it was Cena versus Finn Balor, which was the best match of the night by far. And I don't know why they made Cena win this match. I thought it was really stupid that he won this match. I really was hoping that he would make a run and stuff like that. Shut up, phone. That he would make a run at it, and that Finn Balor would actually be in the championship match. I'm so tired of seeing Cena in championship matches or qualifying for championship matches. I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? It's been how many years? 15 years or so that he's been given the shit of doing title matches, and it's annoying, man. Come on. I mean, you got to give somebody else opportunities. Finn Balor's on such a roll, and they're just going to kind of screw him over by not having him in these matches. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. So that was a big disappointment of the night was when that happened. And then they had an Intercontinental Championship match between Roman and Miz. It's the same routine. Same routine over and over and over again. Roman Reigns beats the crap out of Miz, and then the Miztourage comes in, distracts him, and he's got to fight them off, and then Roman comes in, or Miz comes in and hits him with a move, and then Roman kicks out, and then he gets up, and he beats the crap out of him again, and then all of a sudden Miztourage comes back out, distracts him, and then Miz pins him for the win. It's the same routine over and over and over again. Very, very annoying. But the biggest thing to me was the biggest story of the night to me was that Stephanie McMahon announced that there was going to be a women's Elimination Chamber match. So there are 6 women that have to be in this Elimination Chamber match. Okay. So a day ago, they just had a match to determine who's going to be number one contender for the women's championship. Asuka won the match. Now Alexa Bliss has to go in and she has to defend this title against 5 other people in the Elimination Chamber match. There's not very many women in Raw. Okay, I believe there's at the current state of things, there are 8 women on Raw that aren't on maternity leave or aren't hurt or whatever, or that aren't waiting for a title match. There's 8 women. It's um, Bailey, Sasha, Nia, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, the 2 members of the Absolution, and Mickey James. So those are the 8 women that are on Raw at the moment. So you can't have qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber because there's no reason to have a qualifying match for Elimination Chamber. It just kind of makes no sense. I mean, I want to see it because all the women that are on that thing are extraordinarily talented, every single one of them. But they don't showcase them that much. They don't showcase the women that they need to showcase. It's really annoying that they don't do that. They don't showcase them enough. They had 2 matches, I believe, women's matches today. They had Asuka versus, I think I just said 1 actually. They had Asuka versus Sasha Banks, which was probably one of the best matches of the night. And it really made, that's the thing is that they make better matches than some of the guys do. The match between Kane and Braun Strowman was a joke. The match between Miz and Roman was a joke. The best match of the night, in my opinion, were these 2 matches, and I would say it's a tie between Finn Balor and Cena and Sasha and Asuka. Those are the 2 best matches of the night. Period. And they don't put any other women in the matches. They didn't see Bayley, or we didn't see Bayley. We didn't see Dana. We didn't see Nia. We didn't see anybody else. We saw Sasha versus Asuka, and then we saw Cena versus Finn Balor. That was the best matches of the night. Period. And that was all that happened. The Roman Reigns Miz match is the same crap that happens every other week. And then, Elias versus Matt Hardy. Okay, I want to see Elias actually do stuff. And then Braun Strowman's match was like 5 minutes. That's it. So, they had other matches for the night, but nothing really crazy. I mean, it was like The Bar versus Rhino and Titus Worldwide. And of course, The Bar won. And that was pretty much the end of the night. So Raw to me was kind of boring. I really didn't really care for it that much. I thought it was kind of stupid. I did like the fact that they announced Elimination Chamber for women, and I did like 2 matches, but that's pretty much everything that I liked about the match. So we're gonna move on from Raw because that Raw kind of pissed me off. Moving on to SmackDown. So not this was a good one because they had Nakamura come out and he says that I'm gonna beat AJ Styles and all that kind of stuff, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out and they say, well, we're gonna beat your ass and all that kind of stuff. AJ Styles comes out and says, why don't we team up Shinsuke and try to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? And they're like, okay, I mean, that'd be a cool match to see. The 2 best wrestlers in the business right now fighting with each other against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's pretty sweet. So can't wait to see that. And that was the main event of the night. It was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke and AJ Styles. Best match of the night, period. No questions asked. They had a fatal four-way match to determine the number 1 contender for U.S. Championship. It was Kofi Kingston, Jinder Mahal, Rusev, and Zack Ryder all in a match against one another to find out who was going to face Bobby Roode at Fastlane for the United States Championship. And the one person I really wanted to win Thank God Rusev finally wins a match. Finally gets a shot at the U.S. Championship. I love Rusev now. Everybody loves Rusev now. He's nowhere near the character he used to be when he got managed by Lana. Not anywhere near. And he's fantastic. I love Rusev. And I really want him to start moving up in the rankings to be somebody that can compete for titles, that can compete for world championships. Him and Baron Corbin are my two favorite people on Raw. And Bob, bad guys, heel guys, because they deserve opportunities. They deserve to have all these opportunities just come with them. And I think it's great that they actually do that. Um, so Rusev winning the match was absolutely fantastic. Great. The one thing that the other thing that I saw that was there was Usos came out and said, we take care. We have with tag team division. We own the tag team division. Nobody in the world can beat us. They do they go through their list of names of the people that they actually beaten, except for one, and that's the Bludgeon Brothers. Those guys are monsters. I would love to see them versus the Usos at WrestleMania or Fastlane, any of the pay-per-views. Oh my god, I think that would be a rivalry for the ages. Usos have like this anti-hero type of thing going on right now, where one day they're like their faces and one day they're not. And I like that because the attitude makes them more badass looking. But the Bludgeon Brothers are just mauling through people, and they went up against these, two nobodies that nobody even knew who they were, and it was kind of a joke. And I want to see Usos versus Bludgeon Brothers fighting against each other at some point during the next couple months before WrestleMania or even during WrestleMania. And I think that would be great to see that happen. Um, the other big main, the other big story of the day was that Daniel Bryan. They were backstage, and Daniel Bryan said, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were begging Daniel Bryan to get another title opportunity, and Daniel Bryan was like, "Yeah, we'll give you another title opportunity. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a qualifying match next week, and the winner of the qualifying match will go on to Fastlane to fight against Sami Zayn or fight against AJ Styles for the championship. So the match is gonna be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Like, we haven't seen this match 30,000 freaking times already. Why the hell do we have to watch it again? But it makes sense now, I guess, because they're quote unquote best friends and all that kind of stuff. It's the Jericho angle all over again, but it's a new person, so I guess it's okay, right? Whatever. So I'm not a big fan of this whole thing. I like the fact that they're actually together because we haven't seen that yet. But I don't like the fact that they have to fight against each other because we've seen that 15 million times already. And Kevin Owens always kicks Sami Zayn's ass. So I don't really understand the point of that whole thing. But I think it's going to be a good match. And whoever beats him, I think has a good shot, a legitimate shot at actually becoming or having a good match with AJ Styles at Fastlane. So I really want to see that happen. I can't wait to see that match next week. But that was pretty much the entire the main storyline of SmackDown for this week. The Shinsuke versus AJ Styles match was absolutely phenomenal, of course, because it's Shinsuke Nakamura. It's Shinsuke Nakamura and it's AJ Styles. I mean, you can't really do too much better than AJ and Shinsuke teaming up to face anybody. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn can hold their own, and it was funny because Sami Zayn actually walked out of on Kevin Owens is pretty funny. And they're good. They're a fun team to watch. They're fun to watch, and they're fun to mess around with and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that was pretty much everything for Raw and SmackDown and for the Rumble. Every show was Rumble was great. Raw was just SmackDown is again. They had good matches in both on both shows, but it really wasn't anything to write home about. Um, so so now we'll move on here a little bit. I want to do a little bit a couple of things with the rumors that are running around that are roaming around, and I wanted to kind of give my opinion on those. Um, let's see here. We got new general manager of 205 Live, which they haven't really announced yet. Uh, the one big thing that I saw was that Bobby Lashley ended talks with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he might be making an appearance on at in WWE sooner rather than later. Um, according to Cage Side Seats, the Rumor Roundup site for the day, they said word is Bobby Lashley has stopped negotiating with New Japan. He's expecting to back in WWE soon. I mean, dude, that'd be freaking great. And then I mean, like they're talking about having a Lashley and Lesnar rivalry. Man, I mean, whew, that'd be wonderful. Another big update or another rumor was WWE has plans to have Ronda Rousey challenge Charlotte Flair, and of course Asuka's going to face Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, and that was that, which is pretty cool. Obviously, that's pretty obvious, and um, the reason why they got rid of or they made Seth and Jason Jordan get rid of the titles is because Jason Jordan's hurt. Um, let's see what else we got here. So they were saying that Rey Mysterio, when he came back, which is the best part of the night, by the way, um, biggest surprise anyway, of the Rumble, they want him to be a full time position, but he only wants to be part time, so they're having a really hard time negotiating with him. A couple of people that they were talking about being in the WWE Hall of Fame, Ivory and Mark Henry. Might be the two other people that are going to be in the Hall of Fame class. And they announced Dudley Boys this week, which I thought was really cool because they deserve 100% to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. No questions asked. They were one of my favorite tag teams when I was younger and watched them during the Attitude Era. When they were a part of my favorite match ever, and it was, when Edge speared Jeff Hardy off the ladder at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam? I think it was SummerSlam. And that was the best match I've ever seen in my entire life. And nothing has topped it yet. Not one match has topped it yet. So, but those are a few of the rumors going around, and I think it'd be really cool to see. I want Rousey to do something, not go for championship just yet. I want her to wrestle a few times first. Let's see what she's got, and then maybe next year, maybe SummerSlam, give her a title shot. That'd be fine. You know what I mean? But with her not having any wrestling experience at all, I think it would be just easier to see her wrestle against somebody like, I don't know, like Sasha or Bailey or something, instead of waiting for a championship opportunity against Charlotte Flair. I just think that'd be stupid. So, because you don't know how she's gonna do, and I don't know if Charlotte Flair can actually carry Ronda Rousey, but depending on how good or bad she is. So, those are the rumor roundups that are going on for the rumors that are roaming around WWE for the week, and nothing really crazy. Just a couple things. Bobby Lashley thing is awesome. If I see Bobby Lashley come out, that'd be amazing. But that's pretty much gonna do it. Right now, next we'd have like a Q&A thing, but since this is our first episode, we're not gonna have any. We don't have any questions to be answered. So please don't forget to write and comment, and subscribe, and like and share and all that kind of stuff for this video. Um, and we will answer your questions next week. But that is going to do it for episode number 1 of Full Range Wrestling Recap. This is going to be a weekly episode show that we're going to do every single week after SmackDown. So it'll be up in the middle of the week sometime. So come check us out again. Please subscribe to our channel, Full Range Media. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. And I hope everybody has a great day. And please don't forget to always enjoy. All right, bye guys.